growing vegetable is fun and all, but when you have a lot of them, you need to store them. So, cold room, next. Hey guys, welcome back. So yeah, I'm gonna build a cold room in this area here. So we're gonna build this out of 2-inch foam, all right? And I'm using 4x8 sheet, all right? So that's easy, you know, you just cut them and do your thing. So what we wanted to do here is have a good size closet, basically, because we don't need a huge area, you know. Still, there's only 2 of us, but we wanted a place that would be cold storage so that we could put the root vegetable, potatoes, and all those things, cabbage, right? And we wanted to just optimize the use of the material, you know, to be so that it, for the money we spend, we get the most out of it, all right? Because it's not cheap. So yeah, so these sheets here are like 60 bucks a sheet, okay? And I need 5 of them to build this enclosure, you know, so 4 sides, so that's 4 sheets, and 2 half sheet to do the top and the bottom, right? So that's where we are with this, all right? So let me take you closer so I can describe where the state of it now. All right, so we decided to put it here, okay? And the reason we did that is that I have this post right here, which is always in the way, all right? So by now incorporating it into the wall of the, you know, of the cold storage, you know, we're just gonna basically get rid of it. So first thing I did, I put that bottom sheet. You can clearly see I have a foam underneath. I cut that plywood to go right over, and the reason I did that is because the foam is like, you know, you can easily indent it by pressing on it, so I didn't want to step on that, you know, to fit everything else and dent it, all right? So, and the reason I did it this way is I wanted to basically situate, you know, my, you know, the back wall, which is really what's super important, because we're going to be putting, you know, an AC unit through this wall here and through the exterior wall, right? So I wanted to make sure that it was at the right place between the studs so that I could, you know, situate it on the other side and you know, cut the wall, which is what we're going to do today. So right now I'm going to take all of that out and we're going to start cutting the wall. All right, so this is what's behind the unit, the last sheet here, the back sheet. All right, so we're going to put the AC around this area, and the reason we're doing this area and not higher up is that I have a ledger here for outside. You're going to see when we go. All right, so what I have to do is try to figure out from a point I can pinpoint outside, and I have one right here. Okay, it's a hole for an old lamp that was there, so I know where that is on the other side. So I'm going to take some measurements, all right, and the most important one is that 35-inch here, okay, to the inside, okay, because I'm going to cut stud to stud, and then with the trim I'm going to tighten around the AC unit, which is right there, okay. So this has 17 3/4 wide. This unit is 16, right? So yeah, so we're gonna have to find where this is going. All right, so let's go outside and let's go measure where that's gonna go. All right. All right, so here you are. So my 35 here is over here, you know, my hole. All right. And 36 is right here, so 35, all right? So I have to mess with all of this stuff here, okay? So what I'm gonna do, okay, from where I'm gonna try, because I need to put trim and all of that, so I'm gonna basically figure out from this here, 35 is around here, okay? And I said I had 17 3/4. All right, so hold on. 3/4, so it should be around here. All right, so that is going to be as high as I can put it. All right, and you know it's going to be 12 or so inch down. Okay, we're going to probably do 14, just because I want the unit to have some room, because even though this unit is somewhat available, right, I don't know when it's going to break down. And if I have to redo all of that and take the room down to replace the AC, that's not going to be pretty good. So I'm going to make it a little bigger than the AC is. That way I can insulate it and all that. And then when it dies, I remove it, and I'm just going to have to change the trim here to secure it, you know, weather tight. All right. So now that I kind of know, all right, and when I say kind of know, it's because this mark right here, okay, my hole that I was talking about is around this space here, okay, but 40 inch or so over there, since this is the 35, right? So I'm gonna have to be a foot, 10 inch to a foot under the height of this. So let's go inside, let's go see what I'm gonna do there so that you can follow along. The height is 73 to the hole, all right? So I'm gonna come here. 73 is right there, okay? So right at that intersection here. So I said that I needed to be 10 inch to a foot under that dimension. So that's your foot right here, and I'm going to use that. 10 inch was pretty tight, especially when you have to put trim on it and all that. So I'm going to take a good foot out of it. All right, so this is going to be one of my corner, okay? And the way I'm going to know on the other side, I'm going to use this here with the long bit, all right? Not that I need this long, but that allows me to kind of position it on the side here to make sure that it's going straight out, all right? So what I'm going to do right now is just drill through. All right, let's go outside, see what's going on. Yeah, so you can see this, all right? So this is the bit coming out. So this is going to be my corner, okay, of the hole, which means that I have enough room to put my trim around. All right, I know that I'm going to be 17.5 inch over to this side, all right, which is going to be around here. Okay, and now if I take my level, all right, so that should be the box, 12 inch coming down. All right, so that looks like I can work with that. All right, so now what we have to do is go inside and start drilling, not drilling, but cutting all of this out. All right, in order to lay this out, I'm going to use that bit here, and yeah, I know it doesn't look level, all right, but trust me, this is a level and the rest of the barn is not level, all right? So what I'm going to do right now is just put a little mark here so I can go this way and put another hole here, so that way I know where my top is and I know how I'm going to frame it, all right? All right, so I've put the surround here, so it's all framed. In order for the water to not come in, I'm going to flash it with zip tape flash. I'll show you that in a second here. But one thing that I've learned a long time ago, when you do windows like that, This is a cedar plank, right? So the shakes, you know, as you know, they're tapered, right? So I had the remnant in the barn from something else I did. So I always put one of those, you know, on the sill here. And the reason I do that is because now the water has a slope going back outside if some water gets in here, all right? So that's why I do that. So, and I'm gonna flash over that so that it's all nice and tight. All right, so now that I've basically cleaned the outside up so that we're ready for trim outside, it's now time for flashing tape, all right? So this is what I'm using, okay? It's super sticky, and it does exactly what it's supposed to do. All right, so the way it works, one is not sticky and the other one is. So what you do is that you make sure that you have the right amount, okay? And you're gonna start outside, obviously. Well, obviously, it's not obvious, but you start outside so that, just like shingles, you know, they're overlapping one under the other so that water flows through. So you want to do the same thing here. So you start outside and you roll inside and you cover the whole area, all right? All right, guys, so I'm done flashing outside. So as you can see, I wrapped the whole outside with this, all right? And what I did too is that I was able to put it under the shingle, all right? So pry it with whatever you can use. You see how it's all little piece because I ran it this way, all right? So I could just pry it, move it, and then get it in there, all right? So now I have fully flashed. At the top here, I put a drip edge, all right, which is going to be perfect, when I put the trim under it, you know, it's going to be just the right thing to do, all right? All right, so in order to know where to cut my foam, I'm going to have to reassemble the two that I have here. So let's do that. Hey guys, so day 2. So weather came in yesterday, so I had to rush to finish a couple of things outside before, you know, there's a hole in the wall. So, you know, anyway. So I'm going to take you through what I did yesterday. As you can see, you know, I fitted another board on the side there, okay? And the unit fits really well here. So let me take you outside to show you how I trimmed it. All right, so here we are. So what I did not use the fancy AZEK screws here, okay? I do have them, but the reason I didn't do that is that I didn't want to inset them and so that they're not removable anymore. So this is going to be just fine. They're exterior screws. So, you know, so it's all nice and tight on every side, all right? Except the bottom, so I still need to put one board here, one AZEK, and finish the shingles here, which is going to take no time at all. All right, so now we're going to go inside and we're going to keep doing the build because it's still, the weather's still a little bit iffy today. All right, so today's goals, all right, is going to be fitting the ceiling of the cold room. Okay, I'm also going to have to put you know, a light, okay, that's going to go in the middle here, and yeah, switch is going to be outside, and because I need to put that first, okay, before I can close it, because of that wooden post there that can't move, I'm not going to be able to get that board in here if this side is on. So that's my next step. All right, guys, day 3. All right, let me show you the progress we've made here. So I installed this post here, you know, to kind of delimit the door. All right, so the door is going to go from this one to this one, right, to this post to this post. This post I can't move, it's supporting the building, so I figured I would use it and include it into the design, right? You saw that before. So this is where we are. All right, I have electricity run for a light. So today what we're going to do, we're going to enclose this, and I already did some fitting here. Okay, so we have to get a little bit more foam up here to close this up, and then yeah, we're going to close it down and make a door. All right, that's the plan for today. All right, guys, so I had to do some creative gluing here. And we'll talk about that in a second here. But here it is. The room is finished. All right. It's really just a foam box. All right. So here's the detail of the door. All right. What I did with the door, I cladded it with that chipboard, right? So on both sides, bolted it together, so and did a little bit of gluing. Okay. So that it's all nice and straight. Not straight, but you know, rigid enough that I can be used as a door, right? So I put another board here, okay, and another one on this side as well. All right, and if we go inside, you know, these guys are screwed into this post and the other post that I added, right, to define my door. Okay. So that is a lot of the reason it took a little while for me to figure things out, because nothing is straight here, right? So the construction of your box might be a lot simpler than mine, but I had to do a good amount of, you know, re-engineering a few things because things are not straight, okay? One thing I did, which wasn't part of the original plan, is that we extended it, you know, another shelf width, okay? Because we thought that once we saw the space kind of, we thought it'd be nice and things. And it would actually, it was a consideration when we designed it, but we built it for immediate kind of needs. And the first thing I asked myself is, well, once I start putting glue on these things, right? How am I going to take that apart to extend it? So I just went, you know, screw it, we're doing it now. All right. So that essentially was the prompt that we did. All right. So let me get the light. Let's walk inside a little bit here so you can see where we are. So these foam boards here, as you can see, have been quilted together. You know, I could have bought another board, but at $60 a board, you know, I had a bunch of leftover. So I glued them together and made this side and that side essentially the same way. All right. I had enough to do the back. You saw that the back already existed. And the bottom is quilted as well, and the top is just a complete piece that was left over. All right. So I caulked every joint, okay, because I didn't want air infiltration or cold air to escape, okay. And you know, this is gonna work just fine. Over here is the brains of everything, so a little coolbot, which I have reviewed on its own, you know, from unboxing to installing it. And yeah, this is it. All right, guys, so this is the build. All right, it's not difficult. It's just a matter of making those boards fit the space you have, right? There's a lot of video out there that build those things that have like 4-inch worth of foam, which is fine, which is great. Okay, I might actually do this eventually. Okay, but this is not meant to be a refrigeration unit. This is not meant to be a you know, below 40, you know, 38, 40 temperature room. You know, it's meant to be around 48, 47, you know, in kind of that range, you know, not above 50, but, you know, kind of there. So, you know, I don't need as much insulation if I was keeping it super cold, okay, like fridge temperature. If I ever want to do that, then all I would do is double up the foam, right? So the side panel I would do from inside, okay, but the ends I would do from outside, okay. The top's going to be a little bit tricky. It's going to have to be from inside, bottom as well, right? So we're going to, it's absolutely doable. It's meant to be able to do that, okay? But it's really just a, for now, this is going to work just fine. This is a vegetable kind of storage room. It's not meant to be a fridge, all right? All right, guys. That is it for that build, all right? And don't forget about the coolbot video, you know, on its own. If you have any question, leave them down there. And yeah, give me a like. I'll see you next time. All right, bye.